Welcome back, everybody. Today, we're going deep on a story that has really kind of taken the internet by storm.
Yeah.
It's the story of Wu Liufang.
Oh, yeah, Wu Liufang. Fascinating story.
Former world champion gymnast from China.
Right.
Who has become a controversial influencer.
Yeah, she really encapsulates so much about the pressures of China's athletic system.
Right.
And the unpredictable world of social media and this, struggle for freedom in the digital age.
Mm-hmm.
It's really fascinating.
And we're going to be unpacking all of this based on a YouTube video commentary that analyzes her recent experiences.
Okay.
And it's quite the roller coaster.
Yeah.
So buckle up. Are you ready to dive in?
Absolutely. Let's get started.
Okay, so to understand the controversy, we need to go back to the beginning. Wu Liufang started training at the incredibly young age of 4.
Wow.
4 years old.
It's hard to grasp that level of dedication at such a young age.
Yeah.
Especially in a system like China's that's so focused on producing champions for national glory.
And she excelled by 14. She was on the national team.
Wow.
Poised to compete in the 2008 Beijing Olympics.
Amazing.
But then, just months before the games, she suffered a devastating injury.
Oh, no.
And had to be replaced.
It's crushing for any athlete, but just imagine that weight of expectation.
Oh, yeah.
She was going to be representing her country on home soil.
It's hard to imagine coming back from that, but she was sent back to her provincial team, but she didn't give up.
Wow.
Wu fought her way back to the national team.
Really?
With her sights set on the 2012 London Olympics, and she was on fire.
Yeah.
She won 6 world championship titles and 9 national titles. Talk about a comeback.
Yeah, that's incredible. That's a testament to her resilience and her drive. She clearly thrived under pressure.
But fate, as they say, had other plans. Another injury, this time on the balance beam, shattered her Olympic dreams once again.
Oh, man.
And she retired in 2013, a world champion, without that coveted Olympic gold.
What's really striking about Wu's story and what the commentary really highlights is this contrast between her remarkable achievements and the often harsh realities faced by athletes who don't reach that pinnacle of Olympic success in China.
Right. It makes you wonder what happens to these athletes after they've dedicated their lives to a system that prioritizes national goals over personal ones.
Mm-hmm. The commentary draws some unsettling parallels to the experiences of other Chinese athletes.
Right.
Like Zhu Chunlan.
Oh, yeah.
A former weightlifter who struggled to find decent work after her career was marred by a state-sanctioned doping program.
Right, and even more tragic is the story of Kai Li, another weightlifter who died in poverty partly due to health complications stemming from her intense training regimen.
Right.
These stories really highlight the systemic issues at play.
They do. They raise some very difficult questions about the ethical implications of this national glory system.
Yeah.
And what responsibility does the state have for the well-being of these athletes once their competitive years are over?
So, where does Wu fit into all of this? Well, after retiring, she followed a path laid out for many Chinese athletes, acceptance into Beijing Sport University.
Oh, well.
It's part of the system's attempt to provide for them, but as we've seen with other athletes, it's not always a smooth transition.
Right. These individuals have often sacrificed a traditional education and social life for the sake of their athletic pursuits.
Of course.
And so they kind of enter a world that may not fully recognize or value their unique skills and experiences.
And even with a degree, Wu faced challenges. She became a teacher, but not a full-fledged faculty member, which meant a lower salary and less job security.
Oh, wow.
So it's almost as if her accomplishments on the world stage didn't fully translate to success in this new arena.
Yeah, perhaps this is where the seeds of her later choices were sown.
Yeah.
Here she was a world champion.
Right.
Facing a future that didn't quite match the level of achievement she was accustomed to.
And that's when the internet, with all its allure and potential, came calling. In 2024, she signed with an agency called Big C Stars.
Okay.
And decided to become an influencer.
It's a move we're seeing more and more athletes make.
Right.
The internet offers a platform to build a brand, connect directly with an audience, and potentially achieve a level of financial success and recognition that might have eluded them in traditional career paths.
But this is where things take a turn toward the controversial.
Right.
Wu started creating what are known as edge-rubbing videos.
Edge-rubbing.
A type of content popular on Chinese social media platforms like Douyin, the Chinese version of TikTok.
Okay.
To fully understand the controversy, we need to delve a bit deeper into the world of edge-rubbing, or kabian-shipin, as it's known in Chinese.
Okay.
These videos often feature creators pushing the boundaries of what's deemed acceptable content.
Okay.
Often incorporating suggestive dancing and attire, It's a gray area, and the debate rages online. Some see it as harmless entertainment, a form of self-expression, while others criticize it for objectifying women and promoting potentially unhealthy societal trends.
Right.
And for Wu Liufang, a former national athlete, representing China on the world stage, venturing into this territory was bound to spark some strong reactions.
Of course.
And initially, her videos didn't gain much traction. She was just one of many trying to carve out a space in the crowded world of online influencers.
Right.
But then an incident on November 18th changed everything.
Okay.
Wu posted a video of herself dancing in a leopard print outfit.
Right.
It caught the attention of another gymnast, Guan Chenchen.
Guan Chenchen.
And this wasn't just any gymnast. Guan was an Olympic gold medalist.
Oh, wow.
Representing the pinnacle of success in China's athletic system.
Okay.
And she did not hold back her criticism.
Oh.
Guan left a comment telling Wu that if she wanted to make these edge-rubbing videos, she should do it without associating herself with the national gymnastics team.
Oh, so using her former glory to kind of boost her edge rubbing.
Exactly.
It's important to note that while edge rubbing content is popular, it can also be seen as clashing with the more conservative values often associated with national athletes in China.
Yeah.
So,
Guan's comment ignited a firestorm. Wu responded, accusing Guan of being jealous and implying that Guan couldn't wear revealing clothes because she wasn't as fit.
Oh my goodness.
It was a very public and pointed exchange, each athlete seemingly using their achievements or perceived lack thereof to bolster their position.
Right.
It sparked a massive online debate about appropriate behavior for athletes, the role of women in society, and the boundaries of acceptable content online.
Yeah, wow. So much to unpack there.
I know, and we're just getting started.
All right.
We're going to take a quick break, and when we come back, we'll delve into the fallout from this clash of the champions, the public's reaction, and the ultimate intervention of the authorities.
I can't wait.
Welcome back to our deep dive into the story of Wu Liufang. When we left off, things were getting pretty heated between Wu and Olympic gold medalist Guan Chenchen over Wu's edge-rubbing videos.
Right, and their very public online spat had far-reaching consequences, quickly spiraling into a much larger controversy.
So let's break down what happened. This exchange between two prominent athletes, one a world champion, the other an Olympic gold medalist, immediately caught the attention of the media and ignited passionate discussions online.
Yeah, it tapped into existing tensions and anxieties within Chinese society. On one side, you had people who felt Guan was engaging in a form of nationalistic bullying, essentially looking down on Wu's choices, because she didn't achieve that ultimate symbol of athletic success, the Olympic gold medal.
They argued that Wu had the right to pursue her own path, even if it meant pushing boundaries and challenging conventional norms.
Right. Others felt that Wu was being disrespectful by using her national team background to gain attention for content they deemed inappropriate.
Yeah, they felt it tarnished the image of the team and, by extension, the country.
It really speaks to the complexities of individual freedom within a society that places a strong emphasis on collectivism and national pride.
Absolutely. And the commentary we're analyzing digs deeper into this tension by bringing up a fascinating comparison with Japan.
Oh, interesting.
Despite having industries that many might find morally questionable, like the legal sex trade, Japan also has a relatively high level of social freedom in other areas.
It's a thought-provoking point. Could it be that tolerance for things we might personally find distasteful is actually a sign of a society that values individual liberty?
It's a complex issue, but it's certainly something to consider. Perhaps allowing a wider range of expression, even if it pushes boundaries, can lead to a more dynamic and ultimately freer society. So back to Wu and Guan. Their online clash didn't end with that initial exchange.
Okay.
Guan, in a follow-up comment, praised Wu's accomplishments, but with a noticeable sarcastic undertone. It seemed she was emphasizing the distinction between a world championship and an Olympic gold medal.
Yeah, there was definitely some subtext there, a subtle jab that highlighted the hierarchical nature of China's athletic system even after retirement.
And Wu didn't back down. She responded, suggesting that Guan was only criticizing her because she wasn't as fit and couldn't wear revealing clothes.
Oh, wow.
It was a pointed comment that touched upon a sensitive issue, the pressure female athletes face regarding their appearance, even in a sport that emphasizes strength and skill.
Right.
It almost felt like they were both using their achievements or perceived lack thereof as weapons in this online battle, each trying to one-up the other.
It sounds so intense.
And this back and forth attracted a huge audience. Wu's followers skyrocketed overnight, going from 50,000 to 2.5 million in just a week. the power of controversy was on full display.
Wow, that's incredible.
But as her fame grew, so did the scrutiny facing mounting criticism. Wu eventually posted an apology video.
Okay.
But it was a carefully crafted apology, seemingly containing veiled digs at Guan.
Almost like she was trying to appease her critics while simultaneously poking fun at the situation.
For example, in the video, she talked about how she was tongue-tied and just wanted to use her body to make people happy. But when she bowed, a painting behind her was strategically placed, so it read Dang Fu from right to left.
Dang Fu.
This is a derogatory term, right? Like slut or hussy.
Exactly.
No.
So even in her apology, she seemed to be throwing shade at Guan.
It's a fascinating example of how individuals can use seemingly straightforward communication to convey multiple messages, especially in a culture where indirectness and subtle cues are often preferred.
Guan, for her part, stated that she wouldn't apologize for her stance, but acknowledged she might be more careful with her wording in the future.
So it seems like both athletes realized they had tapped into something much bigger than themselves.
Yeah, they had ignited a conversation about societal expectations, double standards, and the limits of personal freedom in a digital age.
And this conversation was amplified by the fact that they were both high-profile athletes representing, in a way, the ideals and aspirations of Chinese society.
Their online clash exposed the fault lines beneath the surface, the complexities of a society grappling with rapid social and technological changes.
But as this debate raged on, another force entered the scene, the heavy hand of censorship. Remember how Wu's follower count had exploded?
Yeah, 2.5 million.
Well, it seems the authorities took notice. Wu's account was suddenly banned from gaining new followers.
Wow.
She tried to create a new account, but it was quickly deleted. It suggested she might be facing serious repercussions for her actions.
It's a stark reminder that even for those who achieve a level of fame and influence online, the rules of the game can change quickly and unpredictably. The government's reach extends deep into the digital realm.
And this intervention by the authorities only added fuel to the fire. It raised questions about the limits of free expression online and the power dynamics at play in a country where the government exerts tight control over the flow of information.
It also underscored the unique challenges faced by individuals who were once symbols of national pride, but now find themselves navigating a world where personal choices can have significant consequences.
And the National Sports Bureau, when asked about Wu's situation, declined to comment, adding another layer of mystery and intrigue to this already complex story.
It was a silence that spoke volumes, suggesting the sensitivity of the issue and the potential risks involved for anyone who dared to speak out.
So as we move into the final part of our deep dive, we're left with several questions. What are the long-term consequences of Wu's actions? What does this story tell us about the future of online freedom in China? And perhaps most importantly, what does it reveal about the human desire for self-expression, even in the face of significant societal pressures? So we've been talking about this really complex story of Wu Liufang, world champion gymnast turned influencer,
right,
and all this controversy,
right,
and then the censorship from the Chinese authorities.
It's really fascinating.
It is. And as we head into this final part of our deep dive, I'm curious to kind of explore what all of this might mean for Wu Liufang in the long run.
Yeah.
Her account is still banned from gaining new followers, and she's been noticeably quiet online.
It's a precarious position to be in.
Yeah.
You know, on the one hand, she gained a massive following, albeit through controversial means.
Right.
But on the other, she's now facing the consequences of pushing those boundaries too far.
Right. And it's such a stark contrast to, the often touted ideal of the internet as this, free space, open dialogue, free expression.
Right. Wu's case highlights the reality that for many individuals in China, particularly those who have achieved a level of public recognition, the internet is a space where self-expression comes with limitations, and the consequences of crossing those lines can be swift and severe.
So what are the potential long-term impacts of this experience for Wu? Will she try to make a comeback?
It's hard to say for certain.
Yeah.
But, we can look at how other individuals in similar situations have navigated these challenges. Some have chosen to conform, toning down their content, staying within the bounds of what's deemed acceptable.
Mm-hmm.
Others have found more creative ways to kind of subvert the system, using coded language, subtle imagery, to convey their messages.
It's like this high-stakes game of cat and mouse.
It is.
Individuals are constantly testing the limits.
Yep.
And the authorities are responding with these varying degrees of control and censorship.
And this dynamic extends beyond just individual influencers.
Yeah.
It reflects this larger struggle within Chinese society, a tension between the desire for greater personal freedom
Right.
and expression, particularly in the digital realm,
Yeah.
and the government's efforts to maintain social stability and control over the narrative.
It's fascinating and often frustrating.
It is.
Especially for those of us who are used to a more open and less regulated internet environment.
Absolutely. It highlights the fact that the internet, despite its global reach, is not a monolithic entity. You know, the rules of the game.
Right.
The boundaries of what's acceptable.
Yeah.
The consequences of transgression.
All different depending on where you are.
Exactly.
And for Wu Liufang, this whole experience has thrust her into the heart of this really complex and evolving landscape, where the lines between personal expression, societal expectations, and political control are constantly being drawn and redrawn.
Her story serves as a reminder that the quest for freedom, whether online or offline, is rarely straightforward.
Yeah.
It involves navigating intricate power dynamics, challenging norms, and accepting the risks that come with pushing boundaries.
And while we don't know what the future holds for Wu Liufang, one thing's for certain, her story is going to continue to resonate, spark conversations about censorship,
Absolutely.
online fame, and the human desire to be heard, to make our voices heard, even when it's difficult.
It's a reminder that we're all in some way navigating these complexities, grappling with the challenges and opportunities presented by the digital age.
So as we wrap up this deep dive into this fascinating and thought-provoking story, we encourage you to ponder the questions it raises. Where do you stand on the issues of censorship and freedom of expression? How do you navigate the boundaries of acceptable behavior online? And what responsibility do we have to each other as we shape the future of the digital world?
These are not easy questions.
No. But they're essential ones to consider. Wu Liufang's story, while unique in its specifics, touches upon universal themes that resonate with us all.
Thank you for joining us on this journey of exploration and reflection. We hope this deep dive has provided you with new insights, sparked your curiosity, and encouraged you to engage in thoughtful dialogue about the forces shaping our world. Until next time, keep exploring, keep questioning, and keep diving deep.